The topic we're going to be looking at today is types of number. So if in your big books you can write gwaith dosbarth, types of number, and today's date. So the first type of number we're going to look at, you will have learned about these in primary school. These are your odd and even numbers. So what makes something an even number? An even number is a number that can be divided by 2 exactly. All even numbers will have a unit digit of 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. So regardless of the size of the number, if you look at the unit digit, then you can work out if it's an odd or even number. So here we can see 412,310. The unit digit is a 0, therefore it makes it an even number. 5,684, again ending in a 4, the unit digit is a 4, therefore it is an even number. So an odd number then. An odd number is a number that cannot be divided by 2 exactly. All odd numbers will have a unit digit of 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. And again, no matter what the size of the number, if you look at the unit digit and it ends in one of these values, then we can say straight away if it's odd or even. So here 54,395 is ending in a 5, has a unit digit of a 5, therefore it's an odd number. So sometimes we're asked to create numbers based on the digits given in the question. So each of the digits 7, 9, 2 and 6 is used to make a 4-digit number. What is the smallest number that can be made? Well, to create the smallest number, we're going to have to order the digits from smallest to biggest. So it's 2,679. Next, what is the largest, important here, odd number? Okay, what is the largest odd number that can be made? Well, we know that it needs to end in 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. For it to be the largest number, we're going to need to start with the largest digit. So that's going to be 9. Well, we can't use the 7 because we need to make sure our number is odd. So we're going to have to save that until the end. So it's going to be 9,627. Example 2. In each of the following questions, use all of the digits 5, 1, 3 and 6 to make a 4-digit number. What is the largest number that can be made? Well, again, because it's the largest number, we're going to start with the largest digit and then end with the smallest. It's going to be 6,531. And then question 2, what is the largest number that can be made which is divisible by 2? Well, divisible by 2 is another way of saying that it needs to be an even number. Therefore, we know it needs to end in 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, where we can see the only digit that is of one of them values is the 6. So therefore, we're going to have to leave that until the end this time. So it's going to be 5,316. Moving on to the next type of number, a square number. So a square number is a number multiplied by itself. We can use the following indice to show a value is squared. So as you can see here, the little 2 above the 5 means that it's squared. Often when people see this, they can make the mistake that it means 5 times 2, which equals 10. That's not the case. It is multiplied by itself. So it's 5 times 5, which equals 25. The important part with square numbers is any number can be multiplied by itself, but it is the answer that is the square number. So 25 is our square number. And if we look here, you can see the first 10 square numbers are 1 squared, 1 times 1 equals 1. 2 squared, 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 squared, 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 squared, 4 times 4 equals 16. 5 squared, 5 times 5 equals 25, and so on. So these are our first 10 square numbers: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Remembering it's times by itself, not times by 2. And then the final type of number we're going to look at today is the square root. So the square root of the number is the number we multiply by itself to get the value within the square root sign. The square root is the opposite of squaring a number. And the symbol for square root is this little tick here. So a bit like a bus stop, but then you've got the little extension of the tick on the end, and then the value goes inside. So for example, the square root of 144 is 12. Because we do 12 times 12 gives us this value, gives us 144, it gives us the value inside the square root sign. Again, with this, sometimes people can make the mistake where they think they need to half the value, but it's not. It's what number do we times by itself, not what number do we times by 2. So again, the square root of the first 10 square numbers are: square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3 because 3 times 3 equals 9, square root of 16 equals 4 because 4 times 4 equals 16. So if you know your square numbers, then the opposite will give you your square root. Square root of 49 equals 7 because 7 times 7 equals 49. Okay, so you can see the first square root, or the square root of the first 10 numbers are here. So some examples. Write down the value of 9 squared. Well, we know that 9 squared is 9 times 9, which equals 81. Write down the value of 8 squared. Well, 8 squared we know is 8 times 8, which equals 64. Write down the value of the square root of 49. Well, we know what number do we times by itself to make 49? It's 7. 7 times 7 is 49. And then finally, the square root of 121. Well, what number do we multiply by itself to get 121? The only value we can do this with is 11. Finally, Fatima writes down 3 numbers. The total of the square numbers is 30. Write which square numbers did Fatima write down? So if we're thinking of our square numbers, we know that our first square number is 1. So 1 times 1 equals 1. Or 1 squared is equal to 1. 2 squared, we know, is equal to 4. 3 squared is equal to 9. 3 times 3 equals 9. So if we add up these, 1 add 4 is 5, add 9 is 14. Okay, but we need to make 30. So, well, we could keep going with 4 squared if we wanted, which we know is equal to 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Again, if I use each of these, 1 add 4 is 5, add 9 is 14, add 16 is 30, but we can see it's only 3 square numbers that we can use. So, if we carry on going, 5 squared. Remember, it doesn't mean 5 times 2 is 10. It's 5 times 5 equals 25. Therefore, can we use this 25 to, with 2 other numbers to get a total of 30? Yes, we can. Because 25, add 4, add 1 equals 30. So they must have been the 3 square numbers she wrote down. 25, 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 1 times 1 is 1.